Gamers have yearned for an immersive, all-encompassing gaming experience since the days of Tron. A chance to feel like they were a part of the game. Unless you've been living under a rock, you're aware that a few bold tech companies have been attempting to achieve this feat, most notably HTC Vive, Facebook, Oculus, and Sony PlayStation VR. Each of these items has a place in the virtual reality (VR) industry, but they all leave one question unanswered: is VR a legitimate gaming mode, or is it just a gimmick? Virtual reality has witnessed steady growth in its short time on the market, with a projected 3.7 million devices sold in 2017, 6 million in 2019, and 6.4 million in 2020. To give you a better idea of the sector, according to recent estimates, there are as many as 3.1 billion gamers, with 1.48 billion of them being PC gamers. So, in terms of virtual reality, there's still a long way to go. The types of virtual reality. In 2021, you will be able to experience a few levels of virtual reality. The first is wired and console/PC operated, which is the most frequent. The heavy lifting is done by your pre-existing gaming machine with devices like the Vive and PlayStation VR. The console handles all graphic processing power, game storage, and so on, and feeds that information to the VR headset, which has its own set of issues. This approach works great if your computer has the necessary processing power, but it fails miserably if it doesn't. The standalone experience afforded by devices like the Oculus Quest is a substantially more approachable platform for VR. The Quest is as self-contained as VR gets, with no cords and no further requirements other than pairing it with your phone for setup and streaming. While it may not be as powerful as wired alternatives in terms of graphics, it is by far the most relaxed option to have a decent VR experience. What's keeping it from taking off? The lack of VR adoption can be attributed to a number of variables, the most important of which is cost. The HTC Vive Cosmos, which costs around $1,000 is at the top of the market. The Oculus Rift sits in the center, costing $500, and the PlayStation VR, which is a PlayStation exclusive, costs $400 AUD. There are a variety of additional headsets available, but these are by far the most popular. In the case of PlayStation VR, it costs the same as a regular PlayStation, which has a lot more to offer, including a much larger selection of games and players for those games. For the most part, VR headsets aren't very comfortable to wear for lengthy periods of time. A lot of the discomfort comes from the extra weight on your neck and pressure on all sides. After a long period of virtual reality use, users suffer eye fatigue and headaches. Most regular gaming does not cause this problem. Anyone considering purchasing a virtual reality headset should consider how much room they will have to use it in. To avoid potentially knocking against obstructions or injuring yourself, most gadgets recommend 2 square meters of mobility area, which is actually quite a lot for most Australian houses. Before I was permitted to play, I had to convince my headset that my bed was a functional location. Apart from that, technology as a whole still has a long way to go in terms of creating a totally immersive gaming experience. The whole body motion capture method that we've fantasized about remains just that: a fantasy. However, games built specifically for VR, such as Beat Saber and Half-Life, Alyx, do an incredible job of keeping one occupied. Potential for virtual reality. Virtual reality arcades are an underappreciated part of VR gaming. You might not be aware of them unless you live near one, but rest assured, they're all over the place. VR arcades are making the platform accessible and immensely social, with anything from virtualized escape rooms to virtualized laser tag, and a wide range of games in between. I'm not here to dismiss virtual reality as a passing fad, but there's much to be said for using it as a casual method to have a good time with friends. Especially when you consider the cost, space, and hardware requirements of owning your own gadget. A Ready Player One style VR experience will be available at some point in the next decade, if not sooner. But in the meantime, sit back and marvel at this decade's incredible technological developments. Keep an eye on virtual reality and remember that, while it may not have reached its full potential yet, it still has a long way to go.